What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing a hydraulic fluid change and a hydraulic filter change on this Exmark Lazer Z. I know some of the older ones just have a standard screw-on filter, but these ones are a cartridge style filter as seen here. And we're going to do that. We're also going to do the bleeding procedure. So let's dive right in. So as far as materials, what do we need? Right here, we need a 116-0164 filter. We need 2 of those. We need 4 quarts of Exmark Hydro oil. It's a smart idea to get yourself a couple cans of brake clean. So let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with. So some of these older mowers, the seat doesn't really like to stay up. It doesn't move forward. So we're gonna chop this one with a block of wood and hope that that does it. Yep, that's fine. We're gonna use some air to clean around the... Now these guards got to come off both sides. They're a little bit tricky. We're going to pop this out first, and then we can pull out and then up. Like so. And we can hit that. Now always make sure you can get this fluid cap off before you drain the fluid, because if you can't, you're SOL, and then you're messing with trying to get a cap off for possibly hours. I've never had an issue with these ones, so we're just gonna leave that loose in there. Let's get this thing up. Now this brace right here always has tons and tons of grass in it. So before we drain, we're gonna go ahead and clean that out, because if not, then we're cleaning out oily grass, which is more of a mess. If that's what you wanna do, go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and get this drive belt off of here. 1/2-inch ratchet does it. I don't take them off completely. I just tuck them back, unless it's getting replaced, which this one is not. Thing under here, a little bit of air. So we do a 16mm socket, and I got this one on a pretty long extension. Correct these loose. Once you feel it loosen up, I do just grab it. You can do it by hand, twist it out, drop this, let it flow. So once we start to slow down, your choice. You take it out, you can leave it till it comes out completely. Just fluid, filter right down. So let's take a tiny bit of that new fluid, put it on our O-rings. Fluid on the O-rings helps it slip in, get the O-ring seated in the correct position. Clean this up just a touch, make sure there's no dirt. Go ahead and be very careful. You really don't want to rub this on anything. Make sure it's seated. Go ahead and start screwing it in. You're going to want to grab your torque wrench. This goes to 14 foot-pounds or 168 inch-pounds. So let's go ahead and get this set. And we are good there. So after that filter's in, we can go ahead and get this whole area cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead with some brake cleaner on a rag. Especially want to make sure there's no oil on any of these pulleys. Just wipe everything down good. So after that's all cleaned up, we can go ahead and put our belt back on. So for this, we're gonna fill. We want a clean funnel, we want clean hands, we want clean rags. Now this takes about 52 ounces of fluid. Be careful not to overfill, because if you do, you gotta take some out. So some of these have an H up here and a C down here. I think they wanted it to be hot level and cold level, but according to the manual, the H is full and the C is add. And where they have the C is it's all the way on the bottom of the stick. So realistically, if it was to be cold, it would be all the way at the bottom. But we do want it at the top because that's full. And you have to check this when it's at cold, completely cold, room temperature. You know, you'll see a difference if, you know, the pumps are 100 degrees or if they're 70 degrees, you know, because there's not a lot of room once we start to get to the top of our range. So as you're checking and as you're adding, you really want to pour in really slow because just, you know, 2-3 ounce, that'll take us from halfway and that'll bring us to full. So it doesn't take much. So we have one here, which is the C and the H, which is our hot and our cold mark. Really, it's our add and our full. There we are, we're at our add mark. So we'll add just a smidge more. There we are, just slightly over the full mark, and that's okay because this is going to bleed out just a little bit of air. So, and it's also going to soak into that filter a little bit more. So this is a perfect spot for us to be. And that right there was 58 ounces of fluid. So each one's probably going to be tiny bit different depending on how long you let it drain. If you let it drain for a couple hours, it might, you know, be 59. If you kind of just shove the filter right back in, it might be 56, 57. But that's our number. I've done a bunch of these, and that's pretty much right about where it sits. Okay, so to start this bleeding procedure, I'm gonna get the back of this thing jacked up. Just enough to get the wheels off the ground. There's only one side that I showed you, but you're gonna wanna do both sides at the same time and then bleed everything out. So after making sure those reservoirs are full, Exmark wants us to run the engine at full speed for 60 seconds with the drive at full speed to get these pumps bled. So we gotta check these pumps cold. We gotta check that level cold. So I'm gonna go grab some lunch, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna check our fluid level. Okay, so we came back, we're all cool. Let's take a look at this fluid level, see what it looks like. So just a hair high, so we are perfect. So don't forget to look under there when you're done and make sure you check for leaks. And get this in here. Tuck, tuck. Oh, camera moved. Get that in there. And get this tucked in. And that right in that clip there. And we're good to go. Let it cool, check your fluids, and you'll be good to go. So, appreciate you guys watching. If you got any comments or concerns, please put it in the comments section, and hopefully I can get back to you. Otherwise, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would be super awesome, and I'll keep making videos like this.